Who's there?
Me! Answer me! Stand and unfold yourself.
Long live the king.
Bernardo,
He.
you come most carefully upon your hour.
'Tis now struck 12. Get thee to bed, Francisco.
For this relief, much thanks. 'Tis bitter cold, and I am sick at heart.
Have you had quiet, guard?
Not a mouse stirring.
Well, good night.
Stand hold! Who's there?
Friends to this ground and liegemen to the Dane.
Give you good night. Farewell, honest soldier. Who hath relieved you?
Bernardo has my place.
Give you good night. Hola, Bernardo.
Stay. What? Is Horatio there?
A piece of him.
Welcome, Horatio. Welcome, good Marcellus.
What? Has this thing appeared again tonight?
I have seen nothing.
Horatio says 'tis but our fantasy, and will not let belief take hold of him, touching this dreaded sight, twice seen of us. Therefore I have entreated him along with us to watch the minutes of this night, that if again the apparition come, he may approve our eyes and speak to it.
Hush, hush, 'twill not appear.
Then let us once again assail your ears that are so fortified against our story, what we have tonight seen.
Well, let us hear, Bernardo. Speak of this.
Last night of all, when yon same star that's westward from the pole had made his course to illume that part of heaven where now it burns, Marcellus and myself, the bell then beating was...
Look where it comes again!
in the same figure like the king that's dead.
Thou art a scholar. Speak to it, Horatio.
Looks it not like the king? Mark it, Horatio.
Most like. It harrows me with fear and wonder.
It would be spoke to.
Question it, Horatio!
What art thou that usurped this time of night, together with that fair and warlike form in which the majesty of buried Denmark did sometime march? By heaven, I charge thee, speak!
It is offended.
See, it stalks away.
Stay, speak, speak! I charge thee, speak!
It is gone, and will not answer.
Before my God, I might not disbelieve without the sensible and true avouch of mine own eyes.
Thus twice before, and jump at this dead hour with Marshal Stork hath he gone by our watch.
In what particular thought to work, I know not. But in the gross and scope of my opinion, this bodes some strange eruption to our state.
Good now. Oh, stand close, and tell me, he that knows, why this same strict and most observant watch so nightly toils the subject of the land, and why such daily cast of brazen cannon and foreign mart for implements of war? What might be toward to this sweaty haste doth make the night joint labour with the day? Or who is that can inform me?
That can I. At least the whisper goes so. Our last king, whose image even but now appeared to us, was, as you know, by Fortinbras of Norway dared to the combat, in which our valiant Hamlet did slay this Fortinbras, who thus did forfeit with his life all these his lands. Now, sir, young Fortinbras of unimproved metal, hot and full, hath in the skirts of Norway here and there sharked up a list of lawless resolutes to recover of us those foresaid lands so by his father lost. And this, I take it, is the main motive of our preparations, the source of this our watch, and the chief head of this post-haste and rummage in the land.
Soft, behold! Lo, where it comes again. I'll cross it though it blast me. Stay, illusion. If thou hast any sound or use of voice, speak to me. If thou art privy to thy country's fate, which happily foreknowing we avoid, oh, speak! Stay and speak! Stop it, Marcellus! I strike it into it will not stand! 'Tis here! 'Tis here!
'Tis gone. We do it wrong, being so majestical to offer it the show of violence, for it is, as is the air, invulnerable, and our vain blows malicious mockery.
It was about to speak when the cock crew.
And then it started like a guilty thing upon a fearful summons.
Faded on the crowing of the cock. Some say that ever against that season comes, wherein our Saviour's birth is celebrated, the bird of dawning singeth all night long. And then they say, no spirit dare stir abroad. The nights are wholesome. Then no planets strike, no fairy takes, nor witch hath power to charm. So hallowed and so gracious is the time.
So have I heard, and do in part believe it. But look. The morn in russet mantle clad walks o'er the dew of yond high eastward hill. Break we our watch up, and by my advice, let us impart what we have seen tonight unto young Hamlet. For upon my life, this spirit done to us will speak to him.
Though yet of Hamlet, our dear brother's death, the memory be green, and that it us befitted to bear our hearts in grief, and our whole kingdom to be contracted in one brow of woe. Yet, so far hath discretion fought with nature, that we with wisest sorrow think on him, together with remembrance of ourselves. Therefore, our sometime sister and our queen, the imperial jointress to this warlike state, have we, as 'twere with a defeated joy, with one auspicious and one dropping eye, with mirth in funeral and with dirge in marriage, in equal scale weighing delight and dole, taken to wife. Nor have we here in Bard your better wisdoms, which have freely gone with this affair along, for all our thanks. Now, follows that you know. Young Fortinbras, holding a weak supposal of our worth, or thinking by our late dear brother's death, our state to be disjoint and out of frame, he hath not failed to pester us with message importing the surrender of those lands lost by his father with all bonds of law to our most valiant brother. So much for him. Thus much the business is, we have here writ to Norway, uncle of young Fortinbras, that he suppress his nephew's further march and threatening enterprise against our state. And we here dispatch you, good Cornelia, and Voltimand as our ambassadors to old Norway.
In that and in all things we show our duty.
We doubted nothing. Heartily farewell. And now, Laertes, what's the news with you? You told us of some suit. What is, Laertes? You cannot speak of reason to the Dane and lose your voice.
My dread lord, your leave and favour to return to France, from whence, though willingly, I came to Denmark to show my duty in your coronation. Yet now, I must confess, that duty done, my thoughts and wishes bend again toward France. And bow them to your gracious leave and pardon.
Have you your father's leave? What says Polonius?
He hath, my lord, wrung from me my slow leave. I do beseech you, give him leave to go.
Take thy fair hour, Laertes. Time be thine, and thy best graces spend it at thy will. But now, our cousin, Hamlet, and our son.
A little more than kin and less than kind.
How is it that the clouds still hang on you?
Not so, my lord. I am too much i' the sun.
Good Hamlet, cast thy nighted colour off, and let thine eye look like a friend on Denmark. Do not forever with thy veiled lids seek for thy noble father in the dust. Thou knowest 'tis common all that lives must die, passing through nature to eternity.
Aye, madam, it is common.
If it be, why seems it so particular with thee?
Seems, madam, nay, it is. I know not seems. 'Tis not alone my inky cloak, good mother, nor customary suits of solemn black, together with all forms, moods, shapes of grief that can denote me truly. These indeed seem, for they are actions that a man might play, but I have that within which passeth show. These but the trappings and the suits of woe.
'Tis sweet and commendable in your nature, Hamlet, to give these mourning duties to your father, but you must know your father lost a father. That father lost his, and the survivor bound in filial obligation for some term to do obsequious sorrow. But to persever in obstinate condolement is a course of impious stubbornness. 'Tis unmanly grief. I pray you, throw to earth this unprevailing woe, and think of us as of a father, for let the world take note. You are the most immediate to our throne, and with no less nobility of love than that which dearest father bears his son, do I impart toward you. For your intent in going back to school in Wittenberg, it is most retrograde to our desire, and I beseech you, bend you to remain here in the cheer and comfort of our eye, our chiefest courtier, cousin, and our son.
Let not thy mother lose her prayers. Hamlet, I pray thee stay with us. Go not to Wittenberg.
I shall, in all my best, obey you, madam.
Why, it is a loving and a fair reply. Be as ourself in Denmark. Madam, come. This gentle and unforced accord of Hamlet sits smiling to my heart, in grace whereof no jocund health that Denmark drinks today, but the great cannon to the clouds shall tell, re-speaking earthly thunder. Come, away.
Oh, that this two solid flesh would melt. Oh, and resolve itself into a dew. And that the everlasting had not fixed his cannon against self-slaughter, oh God. God. How weary, stale, flat and unprofitable seem to me all the uses of this world. Fie! 'Tis an unweeded garden that grows to seed. Things rank and gross in nature possess it merely. That it should come to this. But 2 months dead. Nay, not so much, not 2.
So excellent a king that was to this, Hyperion to a satyr. So loving to my mother that he might not beteem the winds of heaven visit her face too roughly.
Heaven and earth. Must I remember? Why, she would hang on him.
As if increase of appetite had grown by what it fed on, and yet within a month,
Let me not think on
frailty, thy name is woman, a little month. Or ere those shoes were old, with which she followed my poor father's body. Like Niobe, all tears, why she, even she, oh God, a beast, that once discourse of reason would have mourned longer, married with my uncle. My father's brother, but no more like my father. And I to Hercules within a month. Ere yet the salt of most unrighteous tears had left the flushing in her galled eyes, she married. Oh, most wicked speed to post with such dexterity to incestuous sheets. It is not, nor it cannot come to good. But break my heart, for I must hold my tongue.
Hail to your lordship.
I'm glad to see thee well. Horatio! Oh, I can forget myself.
The same, my lord, and your poor servant ever.
Oh, my good friend, I'll change that name with you. And what make you from Wittenberg, Horatio? Marcellus.
My good lord.
I'm very glad to see you. Good evening, sir. What in faith make you from Wittenberg? We'll teach you to drink deep ere you depart.
My lord, I came to see your father's funeral.
I pray thee do not mock me, fellow student. I think it was to see my mother's wedding.
Indeed, my lord, it followed hard upon.
Thrift. Thrift, Horatio. The funeral baked meats did coldly furnish forth the marriage tables. My father. Methinks I see my father.
Where, my lord?
In my mind's eye, Horatio.
I saw him once. He was a goodly king.
He was a man, taken for all in all. I shall not look upon his like again.
My lord, I think I saw him yesternight.
Saw who?
My lord the king, your father.
The king, my father?
Season your admiration with an attent here, till I may deliver upon the witness of these gentlemen this marvel to you.
For God's love, let me hear.
2 nights together had these gentlemen, Marcellus and Bernardo, on their watch in the dead vast and middle of the night, been thus encountered. A figure like your father, armed at point exactly, cap a pay, appears before them, and with solemn march goes slow and stately by them. This to me, in dreadful secrecy impart they did. And I with them the 3rd night kept the watch, where, as they had delivered, the apparition comes. I knew your father. These hands are not more like.
But where was this?
My lord, upon the platform where we watched.
Did you not speak to it?
My lord, I did, but answer made it none.
It's very strange.
As I do live, my honoured lord, 'tis true. And we did think it writ down in our duty to let you know of it.
Indeed. Indeed, sirs. But this troubles me. Hold you the watch tonight?
We do, my lord.
Armed, say you?
Armed, my lord.
From top to toe?
My lord, from head to foot.
Then saw you not his face?
Oh, yes, my lord. He wore his beaver up.
What looked he, frowningly?
A countenance more in sorrow than in anger.
Pale or red?
Nay, very pale.
And fixed his eyes upon you?
Most constantly.
I would I had been there.
It would have much amazed you.
Very like. Very like. Stayed it long?
While one with moderate haste might tell 100. Longer. Not when I saw it.
His beard was grizzled.
No. It was as I have seen it in his life. A sable silvered.
I will watch tonight. Perchance 'twill walk again.
I warrant it will.
If it assume my noble father's person, I'll speak to it. Though hell itself should gape and bid me hold my peace. I pray you all, if you have hitherto concealed this sight, let it be tenable in your silence still. And whatsoever else shall hap tonight, give it an understanding, but no tongue. I will requite your loves. So fare you well. Upon the platform, twixt 11 and 12, I'll visit you.
Our duty to your honor.
My father's spirit in arms. All is not well. I doubt some foul play. Would the night will come. Till then, sit still, my soul. Foul deeds will rise. Though all the earth o'erwhelm them to men's eyes.
My necessaries are embarked. Farewell. Ma. And sister. As the winds give benefit, and as convoy is assistant, do not sleep, but let me hear from you.
Do you doubt that?
For Hamlet, and the trifling of his favour, hold it a fashion and a toy in blood, a violet in the youth of primy nature, forward, not permanent, sweet, not lasting, the perfume and suppliance of a minute, no more.
No more, but so.
Think it no more. Perhaps he loves you now, and now no soil nor caudle doth besmirch the virtue of his will, but you must fear. His greatness weighed, his will is not his own, for he himself is subject to his birth. He may not, as unvalued persons do, carve for himself, for on his choice depends the safety and the health of this whole state. And therefore must his choice be circumscribed unto the voice and yielding of that body whereof he is the head. Then if he says he loves you, it fits your wisdom so far to believe it, as he in his particular act and place may give his saying deed, which is no further than the main voice of Denmark goes with all. Then weigh what loss your honour may sustain, if with too credent ear you list his songs, or you lose your heart, or your chaste treasure open to his unmastered importunity. Fear it, Ophelia. Fear it, my dear sister, and keep you in the rear of your affection out of the shot and danger of desire. Well, be wary then. Best safety lies in fear. Youth to itself rebels, though none else near.
I shall the effect of this good lesson keep as watchman to my heart. But good my brother, do not as some ungracious pastors do, show me the steep and thorny way to heaven, whilst like a puffed and reckless libertine, himself the primrose path of dalliance treads, and recks not his own reed.
Oh, fear me not. I stay too long. But here my father comes. A double blessing is a double grace. Occasion smiles upon a second leave.
Get here, Laertes, aboard, aboard, for shame. The wind sits in the shoulder of your sail, and you are stayed for. There, my blessing with thee, and these few precepts in thy memory see thou character. Give thy thoughts no tongue, nor any unproportioned thought his act. Be thou familiar, but by no means vulgar. Those friends thou hast, and their adoption tried, grapple unto thy soul with hoops of steel. But do not dull thy palm with entertainment of each new-hatched, unfledged comrade. Beware of entrance to a quarrel, but being in, bear it that the opposite may beware of thee. Give every man thy ear, but few thy voice. Take each man's censure, but reserve thy judgment. Costly thy habit as thy purse can buy, but not expressed in fancy, rich, not gaudy, for the apparel oft proclaims the man. Neither a borrower nor a lender be for loan.
Oft loses both itself and friend.
And borrowing
Does the of husbandry.
This, above all, to thine own self be true. And it must follow as the night the day. Thou canst not then be false to any man. Farewell. My blessing season this in the...
Oh, no. Most humbly do I take my leave, my lord.
The time invites you. Go. Your servant tends.
Farewell, Ophelia. and remember well what I have said to you.
'Tis in my memory locked, and you yourself shall keep the key of it.
Farewell.
What is, Ophelia, he has said to you?
So please you something touching the Lord Hamlet.
Very well bethought. 'Tis told me he hath very oft of late given private time to you, and you yourself have of your audience been most free and bounteous. If it be so, as so 'tis put on me, and that in way of caution, I must tell you, you do not understand yourself so clearly as it behoves my daughter and your honor. What is between you? Give me up the truth.
He hath, my lord, of late made many tenders of his affection to me.
Affection? Pah! You speak like a green girl, unsifted in such perilous circumstance. Do you believe his tenders, as you call them?
I do not know, my lord, what I should think.
Marry, I'll teach you. Think yourself a baby. But you obtain these tenders for true pay, which are not sterling. Tender yourself more dearly, or, not to crack the wind of the poor phrase running it thus, you'll tender me a fool.
My lord, he hath importuned me with love, in honourable fashion.
Aye, fashion you may call it. Go to.
And hath given countenance to his speech, my lord, with almost all the holy vows of heaven.
Aye, springes to catch woodcocks. I do know when the blood burns how prodigal the soul lends the tongue vows. These blazes, daughter, giving more light than heat, extinct in both, you must not take for fire. From this time be somewhat scanter of your maiden presence. For Lord Hamlet believes so much in him that he is young, and with a larger tether may he walk than may be given you. In few, Ophelia, do not believe his vows. This is for all. I would not in plain terms from this time forth have you so slander any moment leisure as to give words or talk with the Lord Hamlet. Look to it, I charge you. Come your ways.
I shall obey, my lord.
The air bites shrewdly. It is very cold.
It is a nipping and an eager air.
What hour now?
I think it lacks of 12.
No, it is struck.
Indeed? I heard it not. Then it draws near the season wherein the spirit held his wont to walk. What does this mean, my lord?
The king doth wake tonight and takes his rouse. Keeps wassail and the swaggering upspring reels. And as he drains his draughts of Rhenish down, the kettle drum and trumpet thus bray out the triumph of his pledge.
To the custom.
Aye, hurriest. But to my mind, though I am native here and to the manner born, it is a custom more honoured in the breach than the observance.
Look, my lord, it comes!
Angels and ministers of grace defend us. Be thou a spirit of health or goblin damned. Bring with thee airs from heaven or blasts from hell. Be thy intents wicked or charitable, thou comest in such a questionable shape. And I will speak to thee. I will call thee Hamlet. King, Father, Royal Dane, oh, answer me. Let me not burst in ignorance, but tell why thy canonized bones, cursed in death, have burst their cerements. Why the sepulchre wherein we saw thee quietly interred hath oped his ponderous and marble jaws to cast thee up again. What may this mean? For thou, dead corpse, again in complete steel, revisits thus the glimpses of the moon, making night hideous, and we fools of nature so horridly to shake our disposition with thoughts beyond the reaches of our souls. Say, why is this? for? What should we do?
Beckons you to go away with it, as if it's some impartment it desires you alone.
It waves you to a more removed ground, but do not go with it.
No, by no means.
You will not speak, well then I'll follow.
Do not, my lord.
Why? What's you with the fear? I do not set my life at a pin's fee. And for my soul, what can it do to that, being a thing immortal as itself? It waves me forth again, I'll follow it.
What if it tempt you toward the flood, my lord? Or to the dreadful summit of the cliff, that beetles or his base into the sea, and there assume some other horrible form, which might deprive your sovereignty of reason and draw you into madness?
It waves me still. Go on, I'll follow thee!
Shall not go, my lord!
Off your hands!
Be ruled, you shall not go!
My fate cries out, and makes each petty artery in this body as hardy as the Nemean lion's nerve. Still am I called?
Unhand me, gentlemen!
By heavens, I'll make a ghost of him that lets me. I say! Wait. Go on! I follow thee.
He waxes desperate with imagination.
Let's follow. 'Tis not fit thus to obey him.
Have after. To what issue will this come?
Something's rotten in the state of Denmark.
Heaven will direct it?
Nay. Let's follow!
Where wilt thou lead me? Speak! I'll go no further.
Mark me!
I will.
My hour is almost come, when I to sulphurous and tormenting flames must render up myself.
Alas, poor ghost.
Hear me not! But let my serious hearing to what I shall unfold.
Speak. I am bound to hear.
So art thou to revenge when thou dost hear?
What?
I am thy father's spirit, doomed for a certain term to walk the night, and for the day confined to fast in fires, till the foul crimes done in my days of nature are burned and purged away. But that I am forbid to tell the secrets of my prison house. I could a tale unfold whose lightest word would harrow up thy soul, freeze thy young blood, make thy two eyes like stars start from their spheres. But this eternal blaze on must not be to ears of flesh and blood. List! List! Oh, list! If thou didst ever thy dear father love, oh, God. Revenge his foul and most unnatural murder.
Murder?
Murder! Most foul, as in the best it is, but this most foul, strange, and unnatural.
Haste me to know it, that I with wings as swift as meditation or the thoughts of love may sweep to my revenge.
I find thee apt. It is given out that sleeping in my orchard, a serpent stung me. But know, thou noble youth, the serpent that did sting thy father's life now wears his crown.
Oh, my prophetic soul, my uncle.
Aye, that incestuous, that adulterate beast, with witchcraft of his wit, with traitorous gifts won to his shameful lust, the will of my most seeming virtuous queen. Oh, Hamlet, what a falling off was there from me, whose love was of that dignity that it went hand in hand, even with the vow I made to her in marriage. And to decline upon a wretch whose natural gifts were poor to those of mine. But lust, though to a radiant angel linked, will sate itself in a celestial bed and prey on garbage. But soft. Methinks I scent the morning air. Brief let me be. Sleeping within my orchard, my custom always in the afternoon, upon my secure hour, thy uncle stole with juice of cursed Lebanon in a vial, and in the port pouches of mine ears did pour the leprous distilment, whose effect holds such an enmity with blood of man that, swift as quicksilver, it courses through the natural gates and alleys of the body, and with a sudden vigor doth posset and curd the thin and wholesome blood. So did it mine, and a most instant Teta barked about, most Lazar-like, with vile and loathsome crust, all my smooth body. Thus was I, sleeping by a brother's hand of life, of crown and queen at once dispatched. Horrible. Most horrible.
Oh, God!
If thou hast nature in thee, bear it not. Let not the royal bed of Denmark be a couch for luxury and damned incest. But howsoever thou pursuest this act, taint not thy mind, nor let thy soul contrive against thy mother aught. Leave her to heaven, and to those thorns that in her bosom lodge to prick and sting her. Fare thee well at once. Ah, the glowworm shows the matin to be near, and gins to pale his ineffectual fire. Adieu. Adieu, Hamlet.
Remember me! Oh, you host of heaven. Oh, earth, what else? And shall I couple hell? Oh, fie. Hold my heart. And you, my sinews grow not instant old, but bear me stiffly up. Remember thee! Aye, thou, poor ghost, while memory holds a seat in this distracted globe, remember thee! Yea, from the table of my memory I'll wipe away all trivial fond records, all saws of books, all forms, all precious past, that youth and observation copied there, and thy commandment all alone shall live within the book and volume of my brain, unmixed with baser matter. Yes, by heaven! Oh, most pernicious woman. Oh, villain. Villain. Smiling, damned villain. My tables meet it is. I set it down that one may smile. And smile. And be a villain. At least, I'm sure it may be so in Denmark. So, uncle, there you are. Now to my word. It is adieu, adieu, remember me. I have sworn. So be it. Hello, ho, ho, my lord! Hello, ho, ho, boy! Come, bird, come!
Oh, it's my lord! What news, my lord?
Oh, wonderful.
Good, my lord, tell it.
No, you'll reveal it.
Nor I, my lord, by heaven, nor I, my lord.
How say you then? Would heart of man once think it? But you'll be secret?
Aye, by heaven, my lord.
There's there a villain dwelling in all Denmark. But he's an arrant knave.
Then he's no ghost come from the grave to tell us this?
Why, right, you're in the right. And so, without more circumstance at all, I hold it fit that we shake hands and part. You, as your business and desire shall point you, for every man has business and desires. Such as it is, for mine own poor part, look you, I'll go pray.
These are but wild and whirling words, my lord.
I'm sorry they offend you. Heartily, yes, faith, heartily.
There is no offence, my lord.
Yes. By St. Patrick, but there is, Horatio. And much offence, too, touching this vision here. It is an honest ghost. That, let me tell you, for your desire to know what is between us, or master it as you may. And now,
Good friends, as you are friends. Scholars and soldiers, give me one poor request.
What is, my lord? We will.
Never make known what you have seen tonight.
My lord, we will not.
Nay, but swear it.
In faith, my lord. Not I, nor I, my lord, in faith.
Upon my sword.
We've sworn, my lord, already.
Indeed, upon my sword, indeed. Boy! Say'st thou so? Art thou there, truthfully? Come on. Do you hear this fellow in the cellarage? Consent to swear.
Oath the oath, my lord.
Never to speak of this that you have seen. Swear by my sword.
Swear!
Et ubique! Then we'll shift our ground. Come hither, gentlemen, and lay your hands again upon my sword. Never to speak of this that you have heard. Swear by my sword. All dread, all mole. Canst work in the earth so fast, a worthy pioneer. Once more remove, good friends.
Oh, day and night. But this is wondrous strange.
And therefore, as a stranger, give it welcome. There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in our philosophy. But come, here as before, never, so help you mercy, how strange or odd soe'er I bear myself, as I perchance hereafter shall think meet to put an antic disposition on, that you at such time seeing me never shall with arms encumbered thus, or this headshake, or by pronouncing of some doubtful phrase as well, we know, or we could, and if we would, or such ambiguous giving out to note that you know aught of me. This not to do. So, grace and mercy at your most need. Help you swear! Yes! We swear! We swear! Yes. The turbid spirit. So, gentlemen, let us go in together. And still your fingers on your lips, I pray. Time is out of joint. Oh, cursed spite. That ever I was born to set it right.
Give my son this money and these notes, Ronaldo.
I will, my lord.
You shall do marvelous wisely, good Ronaldo, before you visit him, to make inquire of his behavior.
My lord, I did intend it.
Very well said, very well said. Look you, sir, inquire me first what Danskers are in Paris, and how and who, what means and where they keep, what company and what expense, and finding by this encompassment and drift of question that they do know my son, come you more nearer. Take you as 'twere some distant knowledge of him, as thus, I know his father and his friends, and in part him. Do you mark this, Ronaldo?
Aye, very well, my lord.
And in part him. But you may say, not well. But if it be he I mean, he's very wild, addicted, so and so, and there, put on him what forgeries you please. Marry, none so rank as may dishonor him, take heed of that. But sir, such wanton, wild, and usual slips as our companions noted, and most known to youth and liberty.
As gaming, my lord?
Aye, or drinking, fencing, swearing, quarreling, drabbing. You may go so far.
My lord, that would dishonor him.
Faith, no, as you may season it in the charge.
But, my good lord...
Wherefore should you do this?
Aye, my lord, I would know that.
Marry, sir, here's my drift, and I believe it is a fetch of wit. You laying these slight sullies on my son, as 'twere a thing a little soiled i' the working, mark you, your party in converse, him you would sound, having ever seen in the predominant crimes the youth you breathe of guilty, be assured he closes with you in this consequence. Good sir, also, or friend, or gentleman, according to the phrase or the addition of man and country.
Very good, my lord.
And then, sir, does he this? He does... What was I about to say? Rather, mass, I was about to say something. Where did I leave?
At closes in the consequence.
Closes in the consequence? Ay, Mary, he closes thus. I know the gentleman. I saw him yesterday, or t'other day, or then, with such or such. And as you say, there was a gaming, there a falling out at tennis, or perchance I saw him enter such a house of sale. Vide licet, a brothel, or so forth. See you now, your bait of falsehood takes this carp of truth. And thus do we of wisdom and of reach, by indirections, find directions out. You have me, have you not?
My lord, I have.
God be with you. Very well.
Good, my lord.
Observe his inclinations in yourself.
I shall, my lord.
And let him ply his music.
Well, my lord.
Farewell. Oh, no, Ophelia, what's the matter?
Oh, my lord, I've been so affrighted.
With what, in the name of God?
My lord, as I was sewing in my closet, Lord Hamlet, with his doublet all unbraced, no hat upon his head, his stockings fouled, ungartered and down-jivered to his ankle, pale as his shirt, his knees knocking each other, and with a look so piteous in purport, as if he had been loosed out of hell to speak of horrors, he comes before me.
Mad for thy love?
My lord, I do not know, but truly I do fear it.
What said he?
He took me by the wrist and held me hard. Then goes he to the length of all his arm, and with his other hand, thus o'er his brow, he falls to such perusal of my face as he would draw it. Long stayed he so. At last a little shaking of mine arm, and thrice his head thus waving up and down, he raised a sigh so piteous and profound, as it did seem to shatter all his bulk and end his being. That done, he lets me go, and with his head over his shoulder turned, he seemed to find his way without his eyes. For out of doors he went without their help, and to the last bended their light on me.
Come, this is the very ecstasy of love, whose violent property foredoes itself and leads the will to desperate undertakings. I am sorry. What, have you given him any hard words of late?
No, my good lord, but as you did command, I did repel his letters, and denied his access to me.
That hath made him mad. I am sorry that with better heed and judgment I had not quoted him. I feared he did but trifle and meant to wreck thee. But beshrew my jealousy. Come, go we to the king. This must be known.
Welcome. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Moreover, that we much did long to see you. The need we have to use you did provoke our hasty sending. Something have you heard of Hamlet's transformation? What it should be, more than his father's death, that thus hath put him so much from understanding of himself, we cannot dream of. I beseech you that, being of such young days brought up with him, that you vouchsafe your rest here in our court some little time, so by your companies to lead him on to pleasures, and to gather so much as by occasion you may glean, whether aught unknown to us afflicts him thus, that opened lies within our remedy.
Good gentleman, he had much talked of you. And sure I am, 2 men there are not living to whom he more adheres. If it will please you to show us so much gentry and goodwill as to expend your time with us a while for the supply and profit of our hope, your visitation shall receive such thanks as fits a king's remembrance.
Both, your majesties, might, by the sovereign power you have of us, put your dread pleasures more into command than to entreaty.
But we both obey. And here give up ourselves in the full bent to lay our service freely at your feet,
To be commanded.
Thanks, Rosencrantz and gentle Guildenstern.
Thanks, Guildenstern, and gentle Rosencrantz. And I beseech you instantly to visit my too much changed son. Go, some of you, and bring these gentlemen where Hamlet is.
Heavens make our presence and our practices pleasant and helpful to him.
Aye, amen.
The ambassadors from Norway, my good lord, are joyfully returned.
Thou still hast been the father of good news.
Have I, my lord? I assure my good liege I hold my duty as I hold my soul, both to my God and to my gracious king. And I do think that I have found the very cause of Hamlet's lunacy.
Oh, speak of that. That do I long to hear.
First give admittance to the ambassadors. My news shall be the fruit unto the feast.
Thyself do grace to them and bring them in. He tells me, my sweet Gertrude, that he hath found the head and cause of all your son's distemper.
I doubt it is no other but the main, his father's death, and our hasty marriage.
We will sift him. Welcome, good friends. Say, what from our brother Norway?
Most fair return of greetings and desires. He sent out to suppress his nephew's march.
The which, he thought, proposed against the Poles, but better looked into, he truly found it was against your highness and our state.
So, Fortinbras receives rebuke from him, and vows before his uncle nevermore to give us of arms against Denmark here.
It likes us well. At night we'll feast together. Most welcome home.
This business is well ended. My liege and madam, to expostulate what majesty should be, what duty is, why, day is day, night, night, and time is time. We're nothing but to waste night, day, and time. Therefore, since brevity is the soul of wit, and tediousness the limbs and outward flourishes, I will be brief. Your noble son is mad. Mad call I it, for to define true madness. What is't? But to be nothing else but mad. But let that go.
More matter with less art.
Madam, I swear I use no art at all. But he is mad, 'tis true, 'tis pity. And pity 'tis true. A foolish figure, but farewell it, for I will use no art. Mad let us grant him then. And now remains that we find out the cause of this effect. Or rather say the cause of this defect. For this effect, defective, comes by cause. Thus it remains, and the remainder thus. I have a daughter, have while she is mine, who in her duty and obedience mark hath given me this. Now, gather and surmise. To the celestial and my soul's idol, the most beautified Ophelia. Oh, that's an ill phrase, vile phrase. Beautified is a vile phrase. But you shall hear. Thus, in her excellent white bosom, these etc.
Came this from Hamlet to her?
Good madam, stay a while, I will be faithful. Doubt thou the stars of fire, doubt that the sun doth move, doubt truth to be a liar, but never doubt I love. This in obedience hath my daughter shown me, and more above.
But how hath she received his love?
What do you think of me?
As of a friend, faithful and honorable.
I would fain prove so, but what might you think when I had seen this hot love on the wing? As I perceived it, I must tell you that before my daughter told me. What might you, or my dear majesty, your queen here, think if I had given my heart a winking mutant arm, or looked upon this love with idle sight? No, I went round to work, and my young mistress thus I did bespeak. Lord Hamlet is a prince out of thy star, this must not be. Then I precepts gave her that she should lock herself from his resort, admit no messengers, receive no tokens, which done she took the fruits of my advice, and he, repulsed, a short tale to make, fell into a sadness, then into a fast, thence into a watch, thence into weakness, thence into a lightness, and by this declension into the madness wherein now he raves, and all we mourn for.
Do you think 'tis this?
It may be. Very like.
Hath there been such a time, I'd fain know that I have positively said 'tis so when it proved otherwise?
Not that I know.
Take this from this, if this be otherwise. If circumstances lead me, I will find where truth is hid, though it were hid indeed within the centre.
How may we try this further?
You know, sometimes he walks, 4 hours together here in the lobby.
So he does indeed.
At such a time, I'll loose my daughter to him. Be you and I behind an arras, then, mark the encounter. If he love her not, and be not from his reason fallen thereon, let me be no assistant for estate, but keep her farm and carters.
We will try it.
But look where sadly the poor wretch comes.
Sweet Gertrude, leave us. Father and myself, lawful espiles, thus may of their encounter frankly judge, if be the affliction of his love or no, that thus he suffers for.
I shall obey you. And for your part, Ophelia? Oh. I do wish that your good beauties be the happy cause of Hamlet's wildness. So shall I hope your virtues will bring him to his wonted way again, to both your honours.
Madam, I wish it may.
Ophelia, walk you here. Read on this book. That show of such an exercise may colour your loneliness.
I hear him coming.
Oh, let's withdraw, my lord.
To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles and by opposing end them. To die. To sleep. No more. And by sleep to say we end the heartache and the 1,000 natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die. To sleep. To sleep perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death what dreams may come, when we have shuffled off this mortal coil, must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveller returns, puzzles the will. And makes us rather bear those ills we have than fly to others that we know not of. Thus, conscience does make cowards of us all. And thus, the native hue of resolution
is sicklied o'er with the pale cast of thought. And enterprises of great pith and moment, with this regard their currents turn awry, and lose the name of action. Soft, you know. The Paraphilia.
Nymph, in thy orisons, be all my sins remembered.
But my lord, how does your honour for this many a day?
I humbly thank you. Well.
My lord, I have remembrances of yours that I have longed long to redeliver. I pray you now receive them.
Not I. I never gave you aught.
Mine honoured lord, you know right well you did. And with them words of so sweet breath composed as made the things more rich. Their perfume lost, take these again. For to the noble mind, rich gifts wax poor when givers prove unkind. There, my lord.
Are you honest?
My lord?
Are you fair?
What means your lordship?
I did love you once.
Indeed, my lord, you made me believe so.
You should not have believed me. I loved you not.
I was the more deceived.
Get thee to a nunnery. Why wouldst thou be a breeder of sinners? I am myself indifferent, honest, and yet I could accuse me of such things. It were better my mother had not borne me. What should such fellows as I do? Crawling between earth and heaven, we are arrant knaves, all. Believe none of us. Go thy way to a nunnery.
Where's your father?
At home, my lord.
Let the door be shut upon him, that he may play the fool nowhere, but in his own house. Farewell.
Help him, you sweet heavens.
If thou dost marry, I'll give thee this plague for thy dowry. Be thou as chaste as ice, as pure as snow, thou shalt not escape calumny. Get thee to a nunnery, go, farewell. Or if thou wilt needs marry, marry a fool. For wise men know well enough what monsters you make of them. To a nunnery go, and quickly to farewell.
Oh, heavenly powers restore him.
You cheat, you humble, and you lisp, and make them God's creatures. Make your wantonness your ignorance go to. Oh, the morons. It hath made me mad! I say, we'll have no more marriages. Those that are married already, all but one, shall live. The rest shall keep as they are. To another go!
Oh, what a noble mind is here o'erthrown. The courtiers, soldiers, scholars' eye, tongue, sword. The expectancy and rose of the fair state. The glass of fashion and the mould of form. The observant of all observers. Quite down. And I, of ladies most deject and wretched, that sucked the honey of his music vows, now see that noble and most sovereign reason, like sweet bells jangled out of tune and harsh. That unmatched form and feature of blown youth, blasted with ecstasy. Oh, woe is me, to have seen what I have seen. See what I see.
Love, his affections do not that way tend. There's something in his soul, o'er which his melancholy sits on brood, and I do think the hatch and the disclose will be some danger.
And now, Ophelia, you need not tell us what Lord Hamlet said. We heard it all. Away, I do beseech you. Here he comes. I'll board him presently. How does my good Lord Hamlet?
Well,
God Almighty. Do you know me, my lord?
Excellent, well. You're a fishmonger.
Not I, my lord.
Then I would you were so honest a man.
Honest, my lord?
I said to be honest, as this world goes, is to be one man picked out of 10,000.
That's very true, my lord.
For if the son breed maggots in a dead dog, being a god, kissing carrion, have you a daughter?
I have, my lord.
Let her not walk in the sun. Conception is a blessing, but not as your daughter may conceive. Friend, look to it.
How say you by that? Still harping on my daughter? Yet he knew me not at first. He said I was a fishmonger. Oh, he is far gone, far gone. And truly, in my youth, I suffered much extremity for love. Very near this. I'll speak to him again. What do you read, my lord?
Words. Word. Words?
What is the matter, my lord?
Between who?
I mean, the matter that you read, my lord.
Slander, sir. For the satirical rogue says here that old men have grey beards, that their faces are wrinkled, their eyes purging thick amber and plum tree gum, and that they have a most plentiful lack of wit. Well, together with most weak hams, all which, sir, though I most powerfully and potently believe, yet I hold it not honesty to have it thus set down. For you yourself, sir, should be as old as I am. If, like a crab, you could go backward.
Though this be madness, yet there's method in't. Will you walk out of the air, my lord?
Into my grave.
Indeed, that is out of the air. How pregnant sometimes his replies are. My honourable lord, I will most humbly take my leave of you.
You cannot, sir, take from me anything that I would more willingly part with all, except my life. Except my life.
Accept my life.
Very well, my lord.
These tedious old fools.
Go to seek the Lord Hamlet. There he is.
God save you, sir.
Mine honoured lord.
My most dear lord.
My excellent good friends, how dost thou, Guildenstern? Rosencrantz, good lads, how do you both?
As the indifferent children of the earth.
Happy? In that we are not over-happy. On Fortune's cap, we are not the very button.
Nor the soles of her shoes.
Neither, my lord.
Then you live about her waists, or in the middle of her favours.
Take her privates, we.
In the secret parts of Fortune. Most true, she is a strumpet. What's the news?
None, my lord. But that the world's grown honest.
Then is doomsday near. But your news is not true. Let me question more in particular. What have you, my good friends, deserved at the hands of Fortune that she sends you to prison hither?
Prison, my lord.
Denmark's a prison.
Then is the world one?
A goodly one, in which there are many confines, wards, and dungeons, Denmark being one of the worst.
We think not so, my lord.
Why then, 'tis none to you. For there's nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. To me, it's a prison.
Why then, your ambition makes it one. 'Tis too narrow for your mind.
I could be bounded in a nutshell and count myself a king of infinite space. Were it not that I have bad dreams. Shall we to the court?
We'll wait upon you.
No such matter. I will not sort you with the rest of my servants. In the beaten way of friendship, what make you at Elsinore?
To visit you, my lord. No other occasion.
Well, you're not sent for. Is it your own inclining? A free visitation? Come, deal justly with me. Come, nay, speak.
What should we say, my lord?
Why, anything but to the purpose. You were sent for, and there's a kind of confession in your looks, which your modesties have not craft enough to colour. I know the good king and queen have sent for you.
To what end, my lord?
That you must teach me. But let me conjure you, by the rights of our fellowship, be even and direct with me, whether you were sent for or no.
What say you?
Nay, then, I have an eye of you. If you love me, hold not off.
My lord, we were sent for.
I will tell you why. So shall my anticipation prevent your discovery. And your secrecy to the king and queen moult no feather. I have, of late, but wherefore I know not, lost all my mirth, forgone all custom of exercise. And indeed it goes so heavily with my disposition that this goodly frame, the earth, seems to me a sterile promontory. This most excellent canopy, the air, look you this, brave o'erhanging firmament, this majestical roof, fretted with golden fire. Why, it appears no other thing to me but a foul and pestilent congregation of vapours. What a piece of work is a man. How noble in reason. How infinite in faculty. In form and moving, how express and admirable. In action, how like an angel. In apprehension, how like a god. The beauty of the world. The paragon of animals. And yet, to me, what is this? Quintessence of dust. Man delights not me.
Aha.
No, nor woman neither, though by your smiling you seem to say so.
My lord, there was no such stuff in my thoughts.
Why did you laugh then when I said man delights not me?
To think, my lord, if you delight not in man, what Lenten entertainment the players shall receive from you. We've coated them on the way, and hither are they coming to offer you service.
What players are they?
Even those you were wont to take delight in, the tragedians of the city.
He that plays the king shall be welcome. His Majesty shall have tribute of me. It is not very strange, for mine uncle is King of Denmark. And there are those that would make mouths at him while my father lived, who give 20, 40, 50, and 100 ducats for his picture in little. It's blood. There's something in this more than natural, if philosophy could find it out.
There are the players.
Gentlemen, you are welcome to Elsinore. Come then, your hands. My uncle, father, and aunt, mother are deceived.
In what, my dear lord?
I am but mad. North-northwest. When the wind is southerly, I know an orc from an Anshore.
Well, we're with you, gentlemen.
Art thou Guildenstern, and you two, at each ear a hearer? That great baby you see there is not yet out of his swaddling clouds.
Happily, he's the second time come to them. They say an old man is twice a child.
I prophesy he come to tell me of the players. You say right, sir. Monday morning.
Lord, I have news to tell you.
My lord, I have news to tell you. When Roscius was an actor in Rome...
The actors are come hither, my lord. Upon mine honour.
Then came each actor on his arse.
The best actors in the world, either for tragedy, comedy, history, pastoral, comical, historical, pastoral, tragical, historical, tragical, comical, historical, pastoral, scene indivisible or poem unlimited. Seneca cannot be too heavy, nor Plautus too light.
Ooh, Jeff the judge of Israel, what a treasure hadst thou?
What a treasure had he, my lord?
Why, one fair daughter I know more, the which he loved passing well.
Still on my daughter.
Am I not in the right, old Jephthah?
If you call me Jephthah, my lord, I have a daughter that I love passing well.
Nay, that follows not.
What follows then?
You are welcome, masters, welcome all. I'm glad friends. Oh, my old friend. What? My young lady and mistress? My young lady, your ladyship is nearer to heaven than when I last saw you. Pray God your voice be not crackled in the ring. Come, we'll have a speech, straight. Come, give us a taste of your quality. Come, a passionate speech.
What speech, my lord?
I heard thee speak me a speech once, but it was never acted. Or if it was, not above once for the play, I remember. Please not the million. 'Twas caviar to the general. One speech in it I chiefly loved. 'Twas Aeneas' tale to Dido. And thereabout of it especially, where he speaks of Priam's slaughter. If it live in your memory, begin at this line. Let me see. The rugged Pyrrhus, like the Hyrcanian beast. It's not so. It begins with Pyrrhus, the rugged Pyrrhus.
He whose sable
arms. Black as his purpose did the night resemble. When he lay couched in the ominous horse, hath now this dread and black complexion smeared, with heraldry more dismal, head to foot. Now is he total ghouls, roasted in wrath, and thus o'ersized with coagulate gore, with eyes like carbuncles, the hellish Pyrrhus.
Old grandsire Priam's seat.
So proceeds you.
Oh, God, my lord, well spoken, with good accent, good discretion.
Anon, he finds him, striking too short at Greeks. His antique sword, rebellious to his arm, lies where it falls, repugnant to command. Unequal matched. Pyrrhus at Priam drives, in rage, strikes wide, but with the whiff and wind of his fell sword, his unnerved father falls. Then, senseless Ilium, seeming to feel his blow, with flaming top, stoops to its base, and with a hideous crash takes prisoner Pyrrhus' ear. For lo, his sword, which was declining on the milky head of Reverend Priam, seemed in the air to stick. So, as a painted tyrant, Pyrrhus stood, and like a neutral to his will and matter, did nothing. But, as we often see against some storm, a silence in the heavens, the rack stands still, the bold winds speechless, and the orb below as hush as death. Anon, the dreadful thunder doth rend the region, so, after Pyrrhus' pause, aroused vengeance sets him new a work. And never did the Cyclops' hammers fall on Mars, his armors, forged for proof etern, with less remorse than Pyrrhus' bleeding sword now falls on Priam.
This is too long.
Show to the barbers with your beard. Prithee, say on. He's for a jig or a tale of Broadway, or he sleeps. Say on. Come to Hecuba.
But who? Oh, who had seen the Moblet Queen?
Moblet Queen. That's good. Moblet Queen is good.
Shh. Run. Barefoot. Up and down. Threatening the flames with besom rheum. A cloud about that head where late the diadem stood. And for a robe about her lank and all o'er teemid loins, a blanket in the alarm of fear caught up. Who this had seen, with tongue in venom steeped 'gainst fortune's state, would treason have pronounced. But if the gods themselves did see her then, when she saw Pyrrhus make malicious sport, in mincing with his sword her husband's limbs, the instant burst of clamour that she made, unless things mortal moved them not at all, would have made milch the burning eyes of heaven, and passion in the gods.
Look where he has not turned his colour, and has tears in his eyes. Pray you no more.
Tis well. I'll have thee speak out the rest soon. My lord, you see these players well bestowed. Do you hear? Let them be well used, for they are the abstract and brief chronicles of the time.
My lord, I will use them according to their desert.
God's bodykins, man, much better! Use every man after his desert, and who should escape whipping?
Come, sirs.
Follow in, friends. We'll hear a play tomorrow. Dost thou hear me, old friend? Can you play The Murder of Gonzago?
Aye, my lord.
Well, here, tomorrow night, you could, for a need, study a speech of some 12 or 16 lines, which I would set down and insert into, could you not?
Aye, my lord.
Very well. Follow that lord, and pray you, mock him not.
No.
My good friends, I'll leave you till night. You are welcome to Elsinore.
Good, my lord.
God be with ye. Now I'm alone. Oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I. Is it not monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, in a dream of passion, could force his soul so to his own conceit that from her workings all his visage wand, tears in his eyes, distraction in his aspect, a broken voice, and his whole function suiting with forms to his conceit. And all for nothing, for Hecuba. What's Hecuba to him, or he to Hecuba, that he should weep for her? What would he do had he the motive and the cue for passion that I have? He would drown the stage in tears and cleave the general ear with horrid speech, make mad the guilty and appall the free, confound the ignorant and amaze indeed the very faculties of eyes and ears. Yet I, dull and muddy metal rascal, pink, like John o' Dreams, unpregnant of my cause, and can say nothing. No, not for a king, upon whose property and most dear life a damned defeat was made. Am I a coward? Who calls me villain? Breaks my pater cross, plucks off my beard and blows it in my face, tweaks me by the nose, gives me the lie of the throat as deep as to the lungs. Who does me this? Huh? Swoons, I should take it. For it cannot be that I am pigeon-livered and lack gall to make oppression bitter, or ere this, I should have fatted all the reeds and kites with this slave's offal. Bloody, bawdy villain, remorseless, treacherous, lecherous, kindless villain, oh, vengeance! Why, what an ass am I. This is most brave. That I, the son of a dear father, murdered, prompted to my revenge by heaven and hell, must, like a whore, unpack my heart with words and fall a-cursing like a very drab, a scullion, violent foe. About my brains! I have heard that guilty creatures, sitting at a play, have, by the very cunning of the scene, been struck so to the soul that presently they have proclaimed their malefactions. For murder, though it have no tongue, will speak with most miraculous organ. I'll have these players play something like the murder of my father before mine uncle. I'll observe his looks. I'll tent him to the quick if he but blench. I know my course. The spirit that I have seen may be a devil, and the devil hath power to assume a pleasing shape, aimed perhaps out of my weakness and my melancholy, as he's very potent with such spirits, abuses me to damn me. I'll have grounds more relative than this. The play's the thing wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king.
And can you by no drift of conference get from him why he puts on this confusion?
He does confess he feels himself distracted, but from what cause he will by no means speak.
Nor do we find him forward to be sounded, but with a crafty madness keeps aloof when we would bring him on to some confession of his true state.
Did he receive you well?
Most like a gentleman.
But with much forcing of his disposition.
Niggard of question, but of our demands most free in his reply.
Did you essay him to any pastime?
Madam, it so fell out that certain players we o'erwrought on the way, of these we told him, and there did seem in him a kind of joy to hear of it.
'Tis most true, and he beseeched me to entreat your majesties to hear and see the matter.
With all my heart. And it doth much content me to hear him thus inclined. Good gentlemen, give him a further edge and drive his purpose on to these delights.
We shall, my lord.
Come.
I have with quick determination thus set it down. He shall with speed to England. Happily the seas and countries different with variable object will expel this something settled matter in his heart, whereon his brains, still beating, puts him thus from fashion of himself. What think you want?
It shall do well, but yet do I believe the origin and commencement of his grief sprung from neglected love. My lord, do as you please, but if you hold it fit, after the play, let his queen mother, all alone, entreat him to show his grief. Let her be round with him, and I'll be placed, so please you, in the ear of all their conference. If she find him not, to England send him, or confine him, where your wisdom best shall think.
It shall be so. Madness in great ones must not unwatched go.
Speak the speech, I pray you, as I pronounced it to you, trippingly on the tongue, but if you mouth it, as many of your players do, I had as lief the town crier spoke my lines. Nor do not saw the air too much with your hands thus, but use all gently. For in the very torrent, tempest, and, as I may say, the whirlwind of passion, you must acquire and beget a temperance that may give it smoothness. Oh, it offends me to the soul to hear a robustious, periwig-pated fellow tear a passion to tatters, to very rags, to split the ears of the groundlings, who for the most part are capable of nothing but inexplicable dumb shows and noise. I'd have such a fellow whipped for ordering termagant. It out-Herods Herod. Pray you avoid it.
I warrant your honor.
Be not too tame, neither, but let your own discretion be your tutor. Suit the action to the word to the action, with this special observance, that you o'erstep not the modesty of nature. For anything so overdone is from the purpose of playing, whose end, both at the first and last, was and is to hold, as 'twere, the mirror up to nature. To show virtue her own feature, scorn her own image, the very age and body of the time, his form and pressure. Now this overdone, or come tardy off, though it make the unskilful laugh, cannot but make the judicious grieve, the censure of the which one must, in your allowance, o'erweigh a whole theatre of others.
I hope we have reformed that indifferently with us, huh?
Reform it altogether. And let those that play your clowns speak no more than is set down for them. For there be of them that will themselves laugh, to set on some quantity of barren spectators to laugh too, though in the meantime some necessary question of the play be then to be considered. That's villainous, and shows a most pitiful ambition in the fool that uses it. Go, make you ready. Good, my lord. Will the king hear this piece of work?
And the queen too, and that presently.
Bid the players make haste.
Ta-da!
Will you two help to hasten them?
We will, my lord.
Horatio,
sweet lord, at your service.
Horatio, thou art e'en as just a man as ere my conversation cope withal.
My dear lord.
Nay, do not think I flattered as thou hear. Since my dear soul was mistress of her choice and could of men distinguish, her election hath sealed thee for herself. Give me that man that is not passion's slave, and I will wear him in my heart's core. I in my heart of heart, as I do thee. Something too much of this. There is a play tonight before the king. One scene of it comes near the circumstance which I've told thee of my father's death. I pray thee, when thou seest that act afoot, even with the very comment of thy soul, observe, mine uncle, if his occulted guilt do not itself unkennel in one speech. It is a damned ghost that we have seen, and my imaginations are as foul as Vulcan's smithy.
Well, my lord, if he steal aught the whilst this play is playing and escape detecting, I will pay the theft.
They're coming to the play. I must be idle. Get you a place.
How fares our cousin Hamlet?
Excellent, faith. Of a chameleon's dish, I eat the air promise crammed.
I have nothing with this answer, Hamlet. These words are not mine.
No, nor mine now. My lord, you played once at the university, you say?
That did I, my lord, and was accounted a good actor.
What did you enact?
I did enact Julius Caesar. I was killed at the Capitol. Brutus killed me.
It was a brute part of him to kill so capital a calf there. Be the players ready?
By my lord, they stay upon your patient.
Come hither, my dear Hamlet. Sit by me.
No, good mother. Here's metal more attractive.
Aha, do you mark that?
Lady, shall I lie in your lap?
Oh, my lord.
Me my head upon your lap.
Aye, my lord.
Do you think I'm any cunt, rheumatos?
I think nothing, my lord.
What a fair thought, to lie between maids' legs.
What is, my lord?
Nothing.
You're merry, my lord?
Who, I?
Aye, my lord.
Oh, God, your own a gin maker. What should a man do but be merry? For look, how cheery my mother looks. And my father died these 2 hours.
Nay, 'tis twice 2 months, my lord.
So long? Nay, then let the devil wear black for I'll have a suit of sables. Oh, heavens. Died 2 months ago and not forgotten yet?
What means this, my lord?
Mary, this is munching Malako. It means mischief.
Belike this show imports the argument of the play.
We shall know by this fellow. The players cannot keep counsel. They'll tell all.
For us and for our tragedy, here stooping to your clemency, we beg your hearing patiently.
Is this a prologue or the posy of a ring?
'Tis brief, my lord.
As woman's love.
Full 30 years have passed in sacred bands since love our hearts and Hymen joined our hands.
So many journeys may the sun and moon make us again count o'er ere love be done.
Faith, I must leave thee, love, and shortly too. My operant powers their functions leave to do, and thou shalt live in this fair world behind, honored, beloved, and haply one as kind for husband shalt thou.
Oh, confound the rest! Such love must needs be treason in my breast. In second husband let me be accursed. None wed the second but who killed the first. A second time I kill my husband dead, when second husband kisses me in bed.
I do believe you think what now you speak, but what we do determine, oft we break. So think thou wilt no second husband wed, but die thy thoughts when thy first lord is dead.
Nor earth to give me food, nor heaven light. Sport and repose lock from me day and night. Both here and hence, pursue me lasting strife. If once a widow, ever I be wife.
She should break it now.
'Tis deeply sworn. Sweet, leave me here a while. My spirits grow dull, and fain I would beguile the tedious day with sleep.
Sleep rock thy brain, and never come mischance between us twain.
Madam, how like you this play?
The lady doth protest too much, methinks.
Oh, but she'll keep her word.
Have you heard the argument? Is there no offence in it?
No. They do but jest. Poison and jest, no offence to the world.
What do you call the play?
The Mouse Trap. The play is the image of a murder done in Vienna. Gonzago is the Duke's name, his wife Baptista. You should see it as a knavish piece of work, but what of that? Your Majesty, and we that have free souls, it touches us not. Let the gaulled jade wince. Our withers are unwrung. Ah, this is one Lucianus, nephew to the king.
You're as good as a chorus, my lord.
I could interpret between you and your love if I could see the puppets dallying.
You are keen, my lord, you are keen.
Begin, murderer. Pox, leave thy damnable faces and begin. Come, the croaking raven doth bellow for revenge.
Thoughts black, hands apt, drugs fit, and time agreeing. Confederate season, else no creature seeing. Thou mixture rank of midnight weeds collected, with Hecate's bane, thrice blasted, thrice infected. Thy natural magic and dire property, unwholesome life, usurp immediately.
He poisons him in the garden for his estate. His name's Gonzago, the player's extant, and written choice Italian. You shall see anon how the murderer gets the love of Gonzago's wife.
The king rises.
What? Frighted with false fire?
How fares, my lord?
Give over the play. Give me some light. Away.
Lights!
Lights! Hamlet! Just...
Oh, good Horatio! I'll take the ghost word for £1,000. It's perceived.
Very well, my lord.
Upon the talk of the poisoning.
I did very well note him.
Come, some music, come! The recorder! For if the king like not the comedy, why then belike, you like it not, Puddy.
Good my lord, vouchsafe me a word with you.
Sir, a whole history.
The king, sir...
Aye, sir, what of him?
...is in his retirement marvellous distempered.
With drink, sir.
No, my lord, rather with choler. Good my lord, put your discourse into some frame and start not so wildly from my affair.
I am tame, sir. Pronounce.
The queen, your mother, in most great affliction of spirit, hath sent me to you.
You're welcome.
Nay, good my lord, if it shall please you to make me a wholesome answer, I will do your mother's commandments.
Oh, sir, I cannot.
What, my lord?
Make you a wholesome answer. My wit's diseased. My mother, you say?
Then thus she says, your behaviour hath struck her into wonder and astonishment.
Oh, wonderful son that can so astonish a mother. Impart.
She desires to speak with you in her closet ere you go to bed.
We shall obey, were she 10 times our mother. Have you any further trade with us?
My lord, you once did love me.
So I do still. By these pickers and stealers.
Good my lord, what is your cause of distemper? You surely bar the door upon your own liberty if you deny your griefs to your friend.
Sir, I lack advancement.
How can that be, when you have the voice of the king himself for your succession in Denmark?
Aye, but sir, while the grass grows... The proverb is something musty. Oh, the recorder! Let me see one. To withdraw with you. Why do you go about to recover the wind of me as if you would drive me into a toil?
Oh, my lord, if my duty be too bold, my love is too unmannerly.
I do not well understand that. Will you play upon this pipe?
My lord, I cannot.
I pray you.
Believe me, I cannot.
I do beseech you.
I know no touch of it, my lord.
It is as easy as lying. Govern these vintages with your fingers and thumb. Give it breath with your mouth. It will discourse most eloquent music. Look you, these are the stops.
But these cannot I command to any utterance of harmony. I have not the skill.
Why, look you now. How unworthy a thing you make of me. You'd play upon me. You would seem to know my stops. You would pluck out the heart of my mystery. You would sound me from my lowest note to the top of my compass, and there is much music. Excellent voice in this little organ. Yet cannot you make it speak? Speak! Do you think I am easier to be played on than a pipe? Call me what instrument you will, though you can fret me. You cannot play upon me. God bless you, sir!
My lord, the Queen would speak with you. And presently...
Do you see yonder cloud that's almost in shape of a camel?
By the mass, and 'tis like a camel indeed.
Methinks 'tis like a weasel.
It is backed like a weasel.
Or like a whale.
Very like a whale.
Then I will come to my mother by and by. They fool me to the top of my bent. I will come by and by.
I will say so.
By and by is easily said. Leave me, friends.
churchyards yawn, and hell itself breathes out contagion to this world. Now, could I drink hot blood and do such bitter business as the day would quake to look on? Soft now. To my mother, I will speak daggers to her, but use none.
I'd like him not, nor stands it safe with us to let his madness range. Therefore prepare you. Your commission will forthwith dispatch, and he to England shall along with you. The terms of our estate may not endure hazard so dangerous as doth hourly grow out of his lunacy.
We will ourselves provide. Most holy and religious fear it is to keep those many, many bodies safe that live and feed upon your majesty.
Never alone did the king sigh, but with a general groan. For majesty is like a massy wheel fixed on the summit of the highest mount, to whose huge spokes 10,000 lesser things are mortised and joined.
Arm you, I pray you, to this speedy voyage. For we will fetters put upon this fear which now goes too free-footed.
We will haste us.
My lord, he's going to his mother's closet. Behind the arras, I'll convey myself to hear the process. I warrant she'll tax him home. Very well, my liege. I'll call upon you ere you go to bed and tell you what I know.
Thanks, good my lord. Offense is rank. It smells to heaven. It hath the primal eldest curse upon't. A brother's murder. Pray, can I not? Though inclination be as sharp as will, my stronger guilt defeats my strong intent. And like a man to double business bound, I stand in pause where I should first begin and both neglect. What if this cursed hand were thicker than itself with brother's blood? Is there not rain enough in the sweet heavens to wash it white as snow? Whereto serves mercy but to confront the visage of offense? And what's in prayer but this twofold force, to be forestalled ere we come to fall, or pardoned being down? Then I'll look up. My fault is past. But, oh, what form of prayer can serve my turn? Forgive me my foul murder. That cannot be, since I am still possessed of those effects for which I did the murder. My crown, mine own ambition, and my queen. May one be pardoned and retain the offense? In the corrupted currents of this world, offence's gilded hand may shove by justice, and oft is seen the wicked prize itself buys out the law. But 'tis not so above. There is no shuffling. There the action lies in his true nature, and we ourselves compelled, even to the teeth and forehead of our faults, to give in evidence. What then? What rest? Try what repentance can. Oh, what can it not? But what can it when one cannot repent? Oh, wretched state. Oh, bosom black as death. O limed soul that's struggling to be free, art more engaged. Help, angels, make assay. Bow stubborn knees, and heart with strings of steel, be soft as sinews of the newborn babe. All may yet be well.
Now might I do it, Pat? Now he is praying. And now I'll do it! And so he goes to heaven. And so am I revenged. That would be scanned. The villain kills my father, and for that I, his sole son, to this same villain sent to heaven? Oh, this is hire and salary, not revenge. He took my father, grossly, full of bread, with all his crimes blown as flush as May. And how his audit stands, who knows, save heaven. And am I then revenged to take him in the purging of his soul, when he is fit and seasoned for his passage? No. Up, blade. And know thou a more horrid end. When he is drunk asleep, or in his rage, or in the incestuous pleasure of his bed, at gaming, swearing, or about some act that had no relish of salvation in't, then trip him, that his heels may kick at heaven, and that his soul may be as damned and black as hell whereto it goes. My mother stays. This physic but prolongs thy sickly days.
My words fly up. My thoughts remain below. Words without thoughts never to heaven go.
He will come straight. Look, you lay home to him. Tell him his pranks have been too broad to bear with, and that your grace hath screened and stood between much heat and him. I'll silence me even here. But pray you be round with him.
Oh, warrant you fear me not, but sure I hear him coming.
Now, mother, what's the matter?
Hamlet, thou hast thy father much offended.
Mother, you have my father much offended.
Come, you answer with an idle tongue.
Go, go, you question with a wicked tongue.
Why, no, Hamlet.
What's the matter now?
Have you forgot me?
No, by the rood, not so. You are the queen, your husband's brother's wife, and, would it were not so, you are my mother.
Nay, then I'll set those to you that can speak.
Come and sit you down. You shall not budge. You go not till I set you up a glass, where you may see the inmost part of you.
Thou wilt not murder me! Help! Help, help!
Oh, now a rat dead, or a ducat dead!
What has thou done?
No, not. Is it the king?
Oh, what a rash and bloody deed is this?
Bloody deed. Almost as bad, good mother, as kill a king and marry with his brother.
As kill a king?
My lady, 'twas my word. Thou wretched, rash, intruding fool, farewell. I took thee for thy better. Take thy fortune.
Leave wringing of your hands. Peace, sit you down, and let me wring your heart. And so I shall, if it be made of penetrable stuff.
What have I done that thou darest wag thy tongue in noise so rude against me?
Such an act that blurs the grace and blush of modesty,
Calls virtue hypocrite, makes marriage vows as false as dicer's oath.
I mean, what act that roars so loud and thunders in the index?
Look, here, upon this picture, and on this, the counterfeit presentment of two brothers. See what a grace was seated on this brow. Hyperion's curls, the front of Jove himself, an eye like Mars to threaten and command, a station like the herald Mercury, new lighted on a heaven-kissing hill, a combination and a form indeed where every god did seem to set his seal, to give the world assurance of a man. This was your husband. Look you now what follows. Here is your husband, like a mildewed ear, blasting his wholesome brother. Have you eyes? Could you on this fair mountain leave to feed, and batten on this more, huh? Have you eyes? You cannot call it love, for at your age, the heyday in the blood is tame. It's humble, and waits upon the judgment. And what judgment would step from this to this? What devil wast that thus hath cozened you at hoodman blind? Eyes without feeling, feeling without sight, ears without hands or eyes, smelling sans all, or but a sickly part of one. True sense could not so mope. Oh, shame, where is thy blush?
Hamlet, speak no more. Thou turnst mine eyes into my very soul. And there I see such black and grained spots as will not leave their dignity.
But to live in the rank sweat of an enseamed bed, stewed in corruption, honeying and making love over the nasty stars.
Oh, speak to me no more. These words like daggers enter in mine ears. No more, sweet Hamlet.
A murderer and a villain, a slave that is not 20th part the tithe of your precedent lord, of vice of kings. A cutpurse of the empire and the rule, who from a shelf the precious diadem stole and put it in his pocket, a king of shreds and patches.
Save me, and hover o'er me with your wings, you heavenly guard. Ah! What would your gracious be?
He's mad.
Do you not come your tardy son to chide, that lapsed in time and passion lets go by the important acting of your dread command? Oh, say.
Do not forget, this visitation is but to whet thy almost blunted purpose. But look, amazement on thy mother's, it's... Oh, step between her and her fighting soul. Conceit in weakest bodies, strongest works. Speak to her, Hamlet.
How is it with you, lady?
Alack, how is it with you? That you do bend your eye on vacancy, and with the incorporeal air do hold discourse. Forth at your eyes your spirits wildly peep, O gentle son, upon the heat and flame of thy distemper sprinkle cool patience. Whereon do you look?
On him, look you. How pale he glares. Do not look upon me, lest with this piteous action you convert my stern effect. Then what I have to do will want true colour, tears, perchance for blood.
Do you speak this?
Do you see nothing there?
No, nothing at all. Yet all there is, I see.
Oh, did you nothing hear?
No, nothing but ourselves.
Look you now, look how it steals away my father in his habit as he lived. Look where it goes, even now, out at the portal.
This is the very coinage of your brain. This bodiless creation. Ecstasy is very cunning in...
Ecstasy? My pulse, as yours, doth temperately keep time and makes as healthful music. It is not madness that I have uttered. Bring me to the test. Either matter will reword, which madness would gamble from. Mother, for love of grace, lay not that flattering unction to your soul, that not your trespass but my madness speaks. It will but skin and film the ulcerous place, whilst rank corruption, mining all within, infects unseen. Confess yourself to heaven. Repent what's past, avoid what is to come, and do not spread the compost on the weeds to make them ranker.
Hamlet, thou hast cleft my heart in twain.
Oh, throw away the worser part of it. Live the purer with the other half. Good night. But go not to mine uncle's bed. Assume a virtue if you have it not. Refrain tonight, and that shall lend a kind of easiness to the next abstinence. Once more, good night. And when you are desirous to be blessed, our blessing beg of you. For this same Lord, I do repent. But heaven hath pleased it so, to punish me with this, and this with me, that I must be their scourge and minister. I will bestow him, and will answer well the death I gave him. So again, good night. I must be cruel, only to be kind. Thus bad begins, and worse remains behind. One more word, good lady.
What shall I do?
Not this, by no means, that I bid you do. Let the bloat king tempt you again to bed, pinch wanton on your cheeks, call you his mouse, and let him for a pair of reachy kisses or paddling in your neck with his damned fingers make you to ravel all this matter out, that I essentially am not in madness, but mad in craft.
Be thou assured, if words be made of breath, and breath of life, I have no life to breathe what thou hast said to me.
I must to England, you know that?
Alack, I had forgot. 'Tis so concluded on.
There's letters sealed. And my two schoolfellows, whom I will trust as I will adders, fanged, they bear the mandate. They must sweep my way and marshal me to knavery, let it work. For 'tis the sport to have the engineer hoist with his own petard, shall go hard. But I will delve 1 yard below their minds and blow them at the moon. Oh, it is most sweet when in one line 2 crafts directly meet. This man shall set me packing. I lug the guts into the neighbour room. Mother, good night. Indeed, this counsellor is now most still, most secret, and most grave, who was in life a foolish, prating knave. Come, sir, to draw towards an end with you.
flutter in these sighs, these profound heaves. You must translate. 'Tis fit we understand them. Where's your son?
Oh, my good lord. What have I seen tonight?
What, Gertrude? How does Hamlet?
Mad. As the sea and wind, when both contend, which is the mightier. In his lawless fit, behind the mirror, hearing something stir, whips out his weapon, cries, a rat, and in this brainless apprehension kills the unseen good old man.
Oh, heavy deed. It had been so with us had we been there. His liberty is full of threats to all. To you yourself, to us, to everyone. Alas, how will this bloody deed be answered? It will be laid to us, whose providence should have kept short, restrained, and out of haunt this mad young man. Oh, but so much was our love. We could not understand what was most fit, but like the owner of a foul disease, to keep it from divulging, let it feed, even on the pith of life. Where is he gone?
To draw apart the body he hath killed. Oh, his madness weeps for what is done.
Oh, Gertrude, come. The sun no sooner shall the mountains touch, but we will ship him hence. And this vile deed we must, with all our majesty and skill, both countenance and excuse. Gilson! Oh, friends both. Go join you with some further aid. Hamlet in madness hath Polonius slain, and from his mother's closet hath he dragged him. Go seek him out, speak fair, and bring the body into the chapel. Pray you, make haste. Oh, Gertrude, come. Let's call up our wisest friends and let them know both what we mean to do and what's untimely done. Come away. My soul is full of discord and dismay.
Stone.
What have you done, my lord, with the dead body?
Compounded it with dust, whereto 'tis kin.
Tell us where 'tis that we may take it thence and bear it to the chapel.
Do not believe it.
Believe what?
That I can keep your counsel and not mine own. Besides, to be demanded of a sponge, what replication should be made by the son of a king?
Take you me for a sponge, my lord?
Aye, sir. That soaks up the king's countenance, his rewards, his authorities, but such officers do the king best service in the end. He keeps them like an ape, an apple in the corner of his jaw, first mouthed to be last swallowed. When he needs what you have gleaned, it is but squeezing you, and sponge you shall be dry again.
I understand you not, my lord.
I'm glad of it. A navy speech sleeps in a foolish ear.
My lord, you must tell us where the body is and go with us to the king.
The body is with the king, but the king is not with the body. The king is a thing.
A thing, my lord?
Of nothing. Bring me to him.
I've sent to seek him and to find the body. How dangerous is it that this man goes loose? Yet must we not put the strong law on him? He's loved of the distracted multitude, who like not in their judgments, but their eyes. And where 'tis so, the offender scourge his way, but never the offence. To bear all smooth and even, the sudden sending him away must seem deliberate cause. Diseases desperate grown by desperate measure are relieved or not at all. How now, what has befallen?
Where the dead body is bestowed, my lord, we cannot get from him.
Where is he?
Without, my lord, guarded to know your pleasure.
Bring him before us.
Guildenstern, bring in my lord.
Now, Hamlet. Where is Polonius?
At supper.
At supper? Where?
Not where he eats, but where he's eaten. A certain convocation of politic worms are in at him.
Your worm is your only emperor for diet. We fat all creatures else to fat ourselves. We fat ourselves for maggots.
Alas, alas.
A man may fish with the worm that hath eat of a king, and eat of the fish that hath fed of that worm.
What dost thou mean by this?
Nothing. But to show you how a king may go a progress through the guts of a beggar.
Where is Polonius? In heaven!
Send thither to see. If your messenger find him not there, seek him in the other place yourself. But indeed, if you find him not within this month, you shall nose him as you go upstairs into the lobby.
Seek him there.
He will stay till you come.
And Hamlet, this deed, for thine especial safety, which we do tender as we dearly grieve for that which thou hast done, must send thee hence with fiery quickness. Therefore, prepare thyself. The bark is ready and the wind at help. The associates tend, and everything is bent for England.
For England?
Aye, Hamlet.
Good.
So is it, if thou knewest our purposes.
I see a cherub that sees them.
Come, for England! Farewell, dear mother.
Thy loving father, Hamlet.
My mother? Father and mother is man and wife is one flesh, and so, my mother.
Come, for England!
Follow him at foot. Tempt him with speed aboard. Delay it not. I'll have him hence tonight. For everything is sealed and done that else leans on this affair. Away. And England, if my love thou hold'st at aught, thou mayest not coldly set our sovereign purpose. The present death of Hamlet. Do it, England. For like the hectic in my blood he rages, and thou must cure me. Till I know 'tis done, whate'er may hap, my joys were ne'er begun.
I will not speak with her.
She is importunate, indeed distract. Her mood will needs be pitied.
What would she have?
She speaks much of her father. Says she hears there's tricks in the world, speaks things in doubt that carry but half sense. Her speech is nothing. Yet the unshaped use of it doth move the hearers to collection.
To a good she was spoken with, for she may strew dangerous conjectures in ill-breeding minds. Let her come in. To my sick soul, as sin's true nature is, each toy seems prologue to some greater miss. So full of artless jealousy is guilt, it spills itself in fearing to be spilt.
Where is the beauteous majesty of Denmark?
How now, Ophelia?
How should I your true love know from another one? By his cockle hat and staff, and his sandal shoe.
Alas, sweet lady, what imports this song?
Sailing nature.
Pray you, mark!
He is dead and gone, lady.
He is dead and gone. But his head a grass green turf, at his heels a stone. Nay, but if he pray him mark! White his shroud of the mountain snow, loaded with sweet flowers, which bewept to the grave did not go with true love showers.
How do you, pretty lady?
Well, God ild you. They say the owl was a baker's daughter. Oh, Lord, we know what we are. But we know not what we may be. God be at your table.
Conceit upon her father.
Oh, pray you, let's have no words of this. But when they ask you what it means, say you this. Tomorrow is St. Valentine's Day, all in the morning bedtime, and I have made it your window to be your Valentine. And off he rose and donned his clothes, and up the chamber door, let in the maid, let out a maid, who never departed more. And his love will have no I'll make an end on't. By cheers and by St. Charity, alack and fie for shame. Young men will do't if they come to it. By cock they are to blame. For she before you tumbled me, you promised me to wed. So would I have done my yonder son, and thou hadst not come to my bed.
How long hath she been thus?
I hope all will be well. We must be patient. But I cannot choose but weep, to think that they should lay him in the cold ground. My brother shall know of it, and so I thank you for your good counsel. Come, my coach. Good night, ladies. Good night, sweet ladies. Good night. Good night.
Follow her close. Give her good watch, I pray you. Oh, this is the poison of deep grief. It springs all from her father's death, and now, behold. Oh, Gertrude. Gertrude, when sorrows come, they come not single spies, but in battalions. First her father slain, next your son gone, and he most violent author of his own just remove. The people muddied, sick and unwholesome in their thoughts and whispers for good Polonius' death, and we have done but greenly in hugger mugger thus to inter him. Poor Ophelia, divided from herself and her fair judgment, without the which we are but pictures, or mere beasts. Last, and yet as much containing all of these, her brother is in secret come from France, and wants not buzzers to infect his ear with pestilent speeches of his father's death.
Alas, what noise is this?
Where are my Switzers? Bid them guard the door.
Save yourself, my lord. Laertes in riotous head o'erbears your officers. The rabble call him lord. They cry, choose we, Laertes shall be king. Hands and tongues applaud it to the clouds. Laertes shall be king. Laertes, king.
Chiefly on the false trail they cry. Oh, this is counter, you false Danish dogs!
The doors are broken. Thou vile king, give me my father.
Calmly, good Laertes.
That drop of blood that's calm proclaims me bastard.
What is the cause, Laertes, that thy rebellion looks so giant-like? Let him go, Gertrude. Do not fear our person. There is such divinity doth hedge a king, that treason can but peep to what it would, acts little of his will. Tell me, Laertes, why art thou thus incensed? Let him go, Gertrude. Speak, man.
Where is my father?
Dead.
But not by him.
Let him demand his fill.
How came he dead? I'll not be juggled with. To hell allegiance,
Vows to the blackest devil, conscience and grace to the profoundest pit. I dare damnation! To this point I stand, let come what comes. Only I'll be revenged most thoroughly for my father.
Who shall stay you?
My will, not all the world's.
Good Laertes, if you desire to know the certainty of your dear father's death, is't writ in your revenge that swoop stake you will draw both friend and foe, winner and loser?
None but his enemies.
Will you know them then?
But to his good friends, thus wide I'll ope my arms, and like the kind life-rendering pelican repast them with my blood.
Why, now you speak like a good child and a true gentleman. That I am guiltless of your dear father's death, and am most sensibly in grief for it. It shall as level to your judgment pierce as day does to your eye.
Let her come in! I know, what noise is that? Oh, heat, dry up my brains. Tears 7 times salt burn out the sense and virtue of mine eye, oh, Rose of May. Dear maid, kind sister, sweet Ophelia, oh heavens, is possible a young maid's wits should be as mortal as an old man's life?
They bore him barefaced on the bier. Hey, nonny, 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 no. And in his grave rained many a tear. Farewell, my dove.
Hadst thou thy wits and didst persuade revenge, it could not move thus.
You're missing a downer, darling. You call him a downer.
This nothing's more than matter.
There's Rosemary. That's for remembrance. Pray, love, remember. And there is pansies. That's for thought.
A document in madness. Thoughts and remembrance fitted.
Fennel for you. And columbines. There's rue for you. And here's some for me. We may call it herb grease a Sundays. Oh, you must wear your rue with a difference. There's a daisy. I would give you some violets, but they withered. All when my father died. They say he made a good end. For bonny sweet Robin is all my joy.
Thought and affliction. Passion. Hell itself she turns to favour and to prettiness.
And will he not come again? And will he not come again? No, no, he is dead. Go to thy deathbed. He never will come again. His beard was as white as snow. All flaxen was his poll. He is gone, he is gone. And we cast away moan. God have mercy on his soul. And of all Christian souls, I pray God. God by ye.
Do you see this? Oh, God.
Laertes. I must commune with your grief, or you deny me right. Go but apart.
Make choice of whom your wisest friends you will, and they shall hear and judge twixt you and me, if by direct or by collateral hand they find us touched. We will our kingdom give, our crown, our life, yea, all that we call ours, to you in satisfaction. But if not, be you content to lend your patience to us, and we will jointly labor with your soul to give it due content. Let this be so. And where the offense is, let the great axe fall.
Go, Captain! From me greet the Danish king! Tell him that by his license, Fortinbras craves the conveyance of a promised march over his kingdom.
I'll do so, my lord.
Go swiftly up!
Sir? Whose powers are these?
We're of Norway, sir.
What purpose, sir, I pray you?
Against some part of Poland.
Who commands them, sir?
Nephew to old Norway, Fortinbras.
Goes it against the main of Poland, sir, for some frontier?
Truly to speak, and with no addition. We go to gain a little patch of ground which hath in it no profit but the name. To pay 5 ducats, 5, I would not farm it.
Why then, the Poland never will defend it.
Yes, it is already garrisoned. 2,000 souls and 20,000 ducats will not debate the question of this straw.
I humbly thank you, sir.
God be with you, sir.
How all occasions do inform against me, and spur my dull revenge. I do not know why yet I live to say this thing's to do, sith I have cause, and will, and strength, and means to do it. Examples gross as earth exalt me. Witness this army of such mass and charge, led by a delicate and tender prince, whose spirit with divine ambition puffed makes mouths at the invisible event, exposing what is mortal and unsure to all that fortune, death, and danger dare, even for an eggshell. Oh, from this time forth, my thoughts be bloody, or be nothing worth.
Laertes, was your father dear to you, or are you but the painting of a sorrow? A face without a heart.
Why ask you this?
Hamlet comes back. What will you undertake to prove yourself your father's son in deed, more than in words?
To cut his throat in the church.
No place indeed should murder sanctuarize. Revenge should know no bounds. Good Laertes, will you do this? Stay close within your chamber. Hamlet returned, shall know you are come home. Will set on those, shall praise your excellence, and for your rapier, most especially, bring you in fine together and wager on your heads. He, being remiss and free from all contriving, will not peruse the foils, so that with ease, or a little shuffling, you may choose a sword unblunted, and in a pass of practice requite him for your father.
I will do it. And for that purpose, I'll anoint my sword. I bought an unction of a mountebank, so mortal that but dip a knife in it, where it draws blood, no cataplasm so rare can save the thing from death that's scratched withal. I'll touch my point with this contagion, that if I but gall him slightly, it may be his death.
Let's further think on this. If this should fail, and that our drift look through our bad performance, 'twere better not essayed. Therefore, this plot should have a back or second that might hold if this did blast improve. Soft. I hide. When in your motion you are hot and dry, as make your bout more violent to that end, and that he calls for drink. I'll have prepared him a chalice for the nonce, whereon but sipping, if by chance he scape your venom stuck, our purpose will hold them. How now, sweet queen?
One woe doth tread upon another's heel. So fast they follow. Your sister's drowned, Laertes.
Drowned? Where?
There is a willow. Grows aslant a brook that shows his hoar leaves in the glassy stream there. With fantastic garlands did she come, crowflowers, nettles, daisies and long purples. Oh, that liberal shepherds give a grosser name, but our cold maids do dead men's fingers call them. There. On the pendant boughs her coronet weeds, clambering to hang, an envious sliver broke, when down her weedy trophies and herself fell in the weeping brook, her clothes spread wide, and mermaid-like a while they bore her up, which time she chanted snatches of old tunes as one incapable of her own distress, or like a creature native and endued unto that element, but long it could not be, till that her garments heavy with their drink pulled the poor wretch from her melodious lay to muddy death.
Alas, then she is drowned.
Drowned. Drowned.
Too much of water hast thou, poor Ophelia, and therefore I forbid my tears, but yet it is our trick. Nature her custom holds, let shame say what it will. Adieu, my lord. I have a speech of fire that fain would blaze, but that this folly douses it.
Let's follow Gertrude. How much I had to do to calm his rage. Now fear I this will give it start again.
Is she to be buried in Christian burial, that wilfully seeks her own salvation?
I tell thee she is, and therefore make her grave straight.
Well, how can that be? Unless she drowned herself in her own defence.
Why, 'tis found so.
It must be say offendendo. It cannot be else. For here lies the point. If I drown myself wittingly, it argues an act, and an act hath three branches. It is to act, to do, to perform. Argle, she drowned herself wittingly.
Nay, but hear you, Goodman Delver.
Give me leave. Here lies the water, good. Here stands the man, good. Now, if the man got to this water and drowned himself, it is, willy-nilly, he goes. Mark you that. But if the water come to him and drown him, he drowns not himself. Argle, he that is not guilty of his own death shortens not his own life. Cudgel that brains no more about it. Go get it to you and fetch me a stupid liquor. Oh. In youth when I did love, me thought it was very sweet.
Does this fellow no feeling of his business, that he sings at grave-making?
Custom hath made it in him a proper seat of easiness.
Is he so? That skull had a tongue in it and could sing once. How the knave jowls it to the ground as if it were Cain's jawbone that did the first murder. Might be the pate of a politician. One that would circumvent God, might it not?
It might, my lord.
And now my Lady Worms. Chapless. And knocked about the mazzard with a sexton spade. He's a fine revolutionary with the trick to see it. There's another! Why, I mean, not that, but the skull of a lawyer. Maybe his quiddities now. His quillets, his tricks. Where does he suffer, this rude knave, now? To knock him about the sconce with a dirty shovel, and not tell him of his action of battery, eh? I'll speak to this fella. Whose grave's this, sirrah?
Mine, sir. Oh, a pit of clay for to be made, for such a guest is meet.
I think it be thine indeed, for thou liest in't.
Thou lie out of it, sir, therefore it is not yours. For my part, I do not lie in't, yet it is mine.
Thou dost lie in't, to be in't and say 'tis thine. 'Tis for the dead, not for the quick, therefore thou liest.
'Tis a quick lie, sir. 'Twill away again, from me to you.
What man dost thou dig it for?
For no man, sir.
What woman, then?
For none neither.
Who is to be buried in't?
For one that was a woman, sir, but rest her soul, she's dead.
How absolute the knave is. How long hast thou been a grave maker?
Oh, of all the days in the year, I came to it that day our last King Hamlet overcame Fortinbras.
How long is that since?
Cannot you tell that? Every fool can tell that. Why, it was the very day young Hamlet was born. Either is mad, sent into England.
Aye, marry. Why was he sent into England?
Why, because he was mad. He shall recover his wits there, or if he do not, 'tis no great matter there.
Why?
'Twill not be seen in him there. There the men are as mad as he.
How came he mad?
Very strangely, they say.
How strangely?
Faith, him were losing his wits.
Upon what ground?
Why, here in Denmark. I have been sexton here, man and boy, 30 years.
How long will a man lie o' the earth ere he rot?
Oh, faith, if he be not rotten before he die, as we have many pocky corpses nowadays that will scarce hold the laying in, he will last you some 8 year or 9 year. A tanner will last you 9 year.
Why he more than another?
Why, sir, his hide is so tanned with his trade that he will keep out water a great while. And your water is a sore decayer of your horse and dead body. Now, here's a skull, sir. I've lain you in the earth 23 years.
Whose was it?
Horse and mad fellow he was. Whose do you think it was?
Nay, I know not.
A pestilence on him for a mad rogue. He poured a flagon of Rhenish on my head once. This skull, sir, was Sir Yorick's skull. The king's jester.
This?
Ian that.
Let me see. Alas. Poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio. A fellow of infinite jest. Of most excellent fancy. He hath borne me on his back 1,000 times. And now, how abhorred in my imagination it is. My gorge rises at it. Here hung those lips that I have kissed. I know not how oft. Where be your jibes now? Your gambols, your songs, your flashes of merriment that were wont to set the table on a roar. Not one now to mock your own grinning. Quite chapfallen. Now, get you to my lady's chamber and tell her. Let her paint an inch thick. To this favour she must come. Make her laugh at that. Prithee, Horatio, tell me one thing.
What's that, my lord?
The Didst thou think Alexander looked to this fashion of the earth?
Even so.
And smelt so.
Even so, my lord.
Imperious Caesar, dead and turned to clay. Might stop a hole to keep the wind away.
'Twere to consider too curiously to consider so.
Another job.
Here comes the king. Queen, courtiers, who is this they follow? And with such maimed right, this not betoken the corpse they follow did with desperate hand fordo its own life. It was of some estate. Couch we a while and mark.
What ceremony else? What ceremony else?
Her obsequies have been as far enlarged as we have warranted. Her death was doubtful. But the great command sways the order. She should in ground unsanctified have lodged till the last trumpet.
Must there no more be done?
No more be done. We should profane the service of the dead to sing a requiem and such rest to her as to peace-parted souls.
Lay her in the earth. And from her fair and unpolluted flesh may violets spring, I tell thee, churlish priest. A ministering angel shall my sister be when thou liest howling.
Fair Ophelia.
Sweets to the sweet. Farewell. I hope thou shouldst have been my Hamlet's wife. I thought thy bride bed to have decked, sweet maid, not to have strewed thy grave.
Oh, treble woe fall 10 times treble on that cursed head, whose wicked deed thy most ingenious sense deprived thee of. Hold off the earth a while, till I have caught her once more in mine arms. Now, pile your dust upon the quick and dead, till of this flat a mountain you have made, to o'ertop old Pelion or the skyish head
Good
of
is
true
he
Olympus.
whose grief bears such an emphasis, whose phrase of sorrow conjures the wandering stars and makes them stand like wonder-wounded hearers. This is I, Hamlet the Dane.
Devil take thy soul!
I prithee take thy fingers from my throat! For though I am not splenetive and rash, yet have I something in me dangerous, which let thy wiseness fear.
Hold on!
Let them alone!
Good my lord, be quiet!
I will fight with him upon this theme until my eyelids will no longer wag.
Oh, my son, what theme?
I love the Ophelia. 40,000 brothers could not, with all their quantity of love, make up my sum. What wilt thou do for her?
Oh, he's mad, Laertes.
Love of God, forbear him.
Huh? Swoot, show me what thou do. Would weep, would fight, would fast, would tear thyself, would drink up Isel, eat a crocodile, I'll do't. Dost thou come here to whine? To outface me with leaping in her grave? Be buried quick with her, and so will And if thou prate of mountains, let them throw millions of acres on us, till our ground, singeing his pate against the burning zone, make Ossa like a wart. Nay, and thou, mouth, I'll rant as well as thou.
This is mere madness, and thus a while the fit will work on him. Anon, his silence will sit drooping.
You, sir? What is the reason that you used me thus? I loved you ever. But it is no matter. Let Hercules himself do what he may. The cat will mew, and dog will have his day.
Good Horatio. Wait on him. Strengthen your patience in our last night's speech. We'll put the matter to the present push. Good Gertrude. Set some watch over your son.
There's a divinity that shapes our ends. Rough hew them how we will.
That is most certain. Sir, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead.
Why, man, they'd make love to this employment there, not near my conscience.
Why, what a king is this?
Does it not, thinks thee, stand me now upon? He that hath killed my king and whored my mother, popped in between the election and my hopes. Thrown out his angle for my proper life, and with such cousinage. It's not perfect conscience to quit him with this arm. But I am very sorry, good Horatio, that to Laertes I forgot myself. For by the image of my cause I see a portraiture of his. I'll court his favours. But sure the bravery of his grief did put me into a towering passion.
Peace. Who comes here?
Your lordship is right welcome back to Denmark.
I humbly thank you, sir. Dost know this waterfly?
No, my lord.
Thy state is the more gracious. 'Tis a vice to know him. 'Tis a chuff.
Sweet lord, if your lordship were at leisure, I should impart a thing to you from his majesty.
I will receive it, sir, with all diligence of spirit. Put your bonnet to his right use. 'Tis for the head.
I thank your lordship. 'Tis very hot.
Oh, no. Believe me, it's very cold. The wind is northerly.
It is indifferent cold, my lord, indeed.
But yet, methinks it is very sultry and hot for my complexion.
Exceedingly, my lord. It is very sultry, as 'twere... I cannot tell how.
Oh.
But, my lord, his majesty bade me signify to you that he has laid a great wager on your head. Sir, this is the matter.
I beseech you, remember.
Nay, good my lord, for mine ease, in good faith. Sir, here is newly come to court Laertes. Believe me, an absolute gentleman, full of most excellent differences, of very soft society and great showing. Indeed, to speak feelingly of him, he is the card or calendar of gentry, for you should find in him the continent of what part a gentleman would see.
The concernancy, sir? Why do we wrap the gentleman in our more raw breath?
Sir?
What imports the nomination of this gentleman?
Of Laertes?
Of him, sir.
I know you are not ignorant.
I would you did, sir. Yet in faith, if you did, it would not much approve me well, sir.
You are not ignorant of what excellence Laertes is.
I dare not confess that, lest I should compare with him in excellence. But to know a man well, were to know himself,
I mean, sir, for his weapon. But in the imputation laid on him by them, in his meed he is unfellow.
What's his weapon?
Rapier and dagger.
That's two of his weapons, but well.
The king, sir, hath wagered with him 6 Barbary horses, against which he has imponed, as I take it, 6 French rapiers and poignards, with their assigns, as girdle, hangers, and so. 3 of the carriages, in faith, are very dear to fancy, very responsive to the hilts, most delicate carriages, and of a very liberal conceit.
What call you the carriages?
Carriages, sir, are the hangers.
But on, why is this imponed, as you call it?
The king, sir, hath laid that in a dozen passes between yourself and him, he shall not exceed you 3 hits. It should come to immediate trial if your lordship would vouchsafe the answer.
How if I answer no?
I mean, sir, the opposition of your person in trial.
I shall walk here in the hall if it pleases Majesty. 'Tis the breathing time of day with me. I shall win for him and I can. If not, I shall gain nothing but my shame and the odd hits.
Shall I re-deliver you, Ian, so?
To this effect, sir, after what flourish your nature will.
I commend my duty to your lordship.
Yours.
This lapwing runs away with a shell on his head.
He'd comply with his mother's dug before he sucked it.
You will lose this wager, my lord.
I do not think so. Since he went into France, I've been in continual practice. I shall win at the odds. But thou wouldst not think how ill all's here about my heart. But it is no matter.
Nay, good my lord.
It is but foolery.
If your mind dislike of anything, obey it. I will forestall their repair hither and say you are not fit.
Not a whit. We defy augury. There's a special providence in the fall of a sparrow. If it be now, 'tis not to come. If it be not to come, it will be now. If it be not now, yet it will come. The readiness is all.
Come, Hamlet, come, and take this hand from me.
Give me your pardon, sir. I've done you wrong. But pardon it, as you were a gentleman. This presence knows, and you must needs have heard, how I am punished with sore distraction. What I have done that might your nature, honor, and exception roughly awake, I here proclaim was madness. Sir, in this audience, let my disclaiming from a purposed evil free me so far in your most generous thoughts that I have shot mine arrow o'er the house and hurt my brother.
I am satisfied. I do receive your offered love, like love, and will not wrong it.
I do embrace it freely. And will this brother's wager frankly play? Give us the foils, come on!
Come, one for me!
I'll be your foil, Laertes, in mine ignorance. Your skill shall, like a star in the darkest night, stick fiery off indeed.
You mock me, sir.
No, by this hand.
Give them the foils, young Osric. Cousin Hamlet, you know the wager.
Very well, my lord. Your grace hath laid the odds of the weaker side.
Oh, I do not think it. I have seen you both. But since he is bettered, we have therefore odds.
This is too heavy. Let me see another.
This likes me well enough. These foils have all a length.
Aye, my good lord.
If Hamlet give the first or second hit, or quit in answer of the third exchange, let all the battlements their ordnance fire. The king shall drink to Hamlet's better breath. And in the cup an union shall he throw, richer than that which 4 successive kings in Denmark's crown have worn. Let the kettle to the trumpet speak, the trumpet to the cannoneer without, the cannon to the heavens to earth. Now the king drinks to Hamlet. Come, begin. And you, the judge, bear a wary eye.
No, judgment!
A hit, a very palpable hit.
Well, again! Say, give me the drink. Hamlet, this pearl is thine. Here's to thy health. Give him the cup.
I'll play this bout first. Let it by a while.
Touch, I didn't fast.
Our son shall win.
He's hot and scant of breath. Here, Hamlet, take my napkin, rub thy brows. The queen carouses to thy fortune, Hamlet.
Good, madam.
Gertrude, do not drink.
I will, my lord. I pray you pardon me.
It is the poisoned cup. It is too late.
I do not drink yet, madam. By and by.
Come, let me wipe thy face.
My lord, I'll hit him now.
I do not think it.
Yet, it is almost against my conscience.
Come for the third, Laertes, you but dally. Pray you pass with your best violence. I'm afraid you make a wanton of me.
Say so. Come on!
Nay, come again!
My lord! My lord! My lord! My lord! My lord! Good off in the help!
They bleed on both sides. How is't, my lord?
How is't, Leonard?
As a woodcock to mine own springe, Osric, I am justly killed with mine own treachery.
How does the Queen?
She swoons to see them bleed.
No! No, the drink! The drink! Oh, my dear Hamlet. The drink. The drink. I am poisoned.
Oh, verily. How? Let the door be locked.
Treachery!
It is here, Hamlet! Hamlet, thou art slain. No medicine in the world can do thee good. In thee there is not half an hour of life. The treacherous instrument is in thy hand, unblunted and envenomed. The foul practice hath turned itself on me. Lo, here I lie, never to rise again, thy mother's poison. I can no more. The king! The king's to blame.
Oh, yet defend me, friends. I am but hurt.
Here. Thou incestuous, murderous, damned Dane, drink off this potion. Is thy union here? Follow my mother!
He is justly served. It is a poison tempered by himself. Exchange forgiveness with me, noble Hamlet. Mine and my father's death come not upon thee, nor thine on me.
Heaven make thee free of it. I follow thee. I'm dead. Horatio. Wretched queen, and you that look pale and tremble at this chance, that are but mutes or audience to this act, had I but time, as this fell Sergeant Death is strict in his arrest. Oh, I could tell you, but let it be. Horatio, I'm dead. Thou livest. Report me and my cause aright to the unsatisfied.
Never believe it. No more an antique Roman than a Dane. Is yet some liquor left?
Thou art the man. Give me the cup. Let go. By heaven, I'll have it. Good Horatio. What a wounded name. Things standing thus unknown shall live behind me. If thou didst ever hold me in thy heart, absent thee from felicity a while, and in this harsh world draw thy breath in pain to tell my story. Rest is silence.
Now cracks a noble heart. Good night, sweet prince.
and flights of angels sing thee to thy rest.